Most people think they know what Egypt looks like: pyramids, deserts, pharaohs. But beyond the famous monuments are places you've probably never seen and maybe never even heard of. Oases hidden in endless sand, temples carved into cliff sides, and deserts that glow white under starlight. This is the other Egypt. The one beyond the tourist buses, where ancient gods were worshipped in temples now half buried. Where the Red Sea meets the Sahara in impossible blues and golds. And where 5,000 years of civilization left treasures in every corner. From hidden oases to underwater kingdoms, from colossal statues to painted tombs that still hold their colors, we're about to explore 20 of Egypt's most breathtaking places. Have you ever wondered what secrets the pharaohs took to their graves? If you're ready to discover the Egypt most travelers never find, hit that subscribe button and join Life in Geo as we journey through a land where history isn't studied, it's everywhere you look. Before we begin, here are some facts that might surprise you. Egypt is 90% desert, yet the Nile River has sustained civilization here for over 7,000 years. The Great Pyramid of Giza was the world's tallest man-made structure for 3,800 years. Ancient Egyptians invented paper, the 365-day calendar, and eye makeup as sun protection. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the moon landing than to the building of the pyramids. Egypt has more than 120 pyramids, not just the 3 at Giza. The ancient library of Alexandria was the largest in the ancient world, holding over 700,000 scrolls. Ramses II had over 100 children and ruled for 66 years. This is a land where time moves differently, where stones outlast empires, and where the past refuses to stay buried. It's Egypt's most remote oasis, and that isolation preserved something magical. This is SIWA Oasis, sitting near the Libyan border, 560 kilometers from Cairo. For centuries, SIWA remained cut off from the world, developing its own Berber culture and language. Alexander the Great journeyed here in 331 BC to consult the oracle of Amun, who declared him a god. The temple of the oracle still stands on a rocky outcrop. Salt lakes surround the oasis, their waters so dense you float effortlessly. Cleopatra's bath, a natural stone pool fed by hot springs, is where legend says she bathed. Palm groves produce the world's best dates. At sunset, the desert turns gold, then purple, then disappears into darkness filled with more stars than you've ever seen. Have you ever floated in a desert lake watching stars appear? SIWA moves slowly, deliberately, resisting the modern world. It's where pharaohs sleep, or try to. This is the Valley of the Kings near Luxor, where 63 tombs were carved into limestone cliffs to hide royal mummies from grave robbers. For 500 years, from 1539 to 1075 BC, Egypt's most powerful rulers were buried here. Each tomb descends deep into bedrock, walls covered in painted scenes from the Book of the Dead guiding the pharaoh through the afterlife. King Tutankhamun's tomb, discovered nearly intact in 1922, revealed treasures that stunned the world. Most tombs were looted in antiquity, but the artwork remains vivid after 3,000 years. The tomb of Seti I descends over 100 meters, its astronomical ceiling showing constellations. Can you imagine spending years carving your own tomb? The valley is hot, shadeless, and silent except for footsteps echoing in ancient corridors. The colors haven't faded. The gods still watch from walls. It's the best-preserved temple in Egypt, and walking through it feels like time travel. This is the Temple of Horus at Edfu, built between 237 and 57 BC. Sand buried the temple for centuries, protecting it from destruction. The massive pylon gateway stands 36 meters high, its walls carved with scenes of Ptolemy XII defeating enemies. Inside, columns tower overhead, their capitals carved as palm fronds and lotus flowers. 2 granite falcon statues guard the entrance, representing Horus, the falcon god. The walls tell the myth of Horus avenging his father Osiris by battling Set. Every surface is covered in hieroglyphs and reliefs, still crisp after 2,000 years. The inner sanctuary remains dark and sacred. Edfu isn't as famous as Karnak, but it's more complete. Walking through feels like entering a temple still in use. Have you ever touched stone carved 2,000 years ago? It's where the desert meets the Red Sea, and that meeting creates magic. This is DAHAB, a small beach town on the Sinai Peninsula that transformed from Bedouin fishing village to diving paradise. The Blue Hole, a 130-meter deep submarine sinkhole, is one of the world's most famous dive sites and also one of its most dangerous. The Canyon, another dive site, features a narrow underwater passage opening to the sea. Above water, DAHAB is laid back. Beachfront cafes with cushions, wind constantly blowing, and mountains rising brown and barren behind. Mount Sinai, where Moses received the 10 Commandments, is nearby. Bedouins still herd goats through valleys. Kite surfers fill the bay, their colorful kites dancing in constant wind. DAHAB isn't luxurious like Sharm el-Sheikh. It's simpler, cheaper, more authentic, and somehow more beautiful. Would you dare dive the Blue Hole? They're the last standing wonder of the ancient world, and they still baffle us. This is the Giza Pyramid Complex, where 3 pyramids rise from desert at Cairo's edge. The Great Pyramid, built for Khufu around 2560 BC, stood 146 meters tall, constructed from 2.3 million stone blocks, averaging 2.5 tons each. How they moved these blocks remains debated. The pyramid's sides align almost perfectly with true north. The Sphinx, carved from a single limestone outcrop, guards the complex, its face possibly representing Khafre. The Sphinx's nose is missing, broken off centuries ago. These structures are 4,500 years old, ancient to the ancient Romans. Built when mammoths still walked the earth, standing before them, you feel humanity's ambition made stone. Have you ever wondered what the pyramids looked like when covered in smooth white limestone, gleaming in the sun? They were meant to shine like stars on earth. It's where the Nile is most beautiful and most powerful. This is ASWAN, Egypt's southern city where granite quarries provided stone for ancient monuments. The unfinished obelisk, still attached to bedrock, would have stood 42 meters tall and weighed 1,200 tons had it not cracked during carving. Elephantine Island sits in the river, home to ruins dating to 3000 BC. Nubian villages paint their houses in bright blues, yellows, and greens, creating colorful contrast against the desert. Nubian culture, distinct from Egyptian, thrives here with its own language and traditions. The Nile at Aswan is wide, dotted with islands and rocks. Feluccas, traditional wooden sailboats, glide silently past. The Aswan Dam, built in the 1960s, created Lake Nasser and required moving entire temples. Aswan is hot, often Egypt's hottest city, but the river brings life. Which would you choose? Felucca ride at sunset or exploring ancient quarries. They're deserts within the desert, and they're otherworldly. This is the White Desert, where limestone formations rise from sand like sculptures. Wind and sand carved these rocks over millennia, creating mushroom shapes and abstract forms that defy description. The rock is chalk white, glowing under the sun, luminous under the moon. Camping here at night is surreal, white formations casting strange shadows. Silence so complete you hear your heartbeat, and stars filling the sky in impossible density. Nearby, the Black Desert is covered in volcanic rocks that oxidize to deep black. The contrast is stark, white formations rising from golden sand near black volcanic stones. Crystal Mountain, between the two deserts, is filled with calcite crystals that sparkle when sunlight hits. The deserts are remote, requiring 4x4 vehicles and guides. But the landscapes feel alien, like Mars. Would you spend a night surrounded by white rock formations under a million stars? It's the only double temple in Egypt, built for two gods, perfectly symmetrical. This is OMBO Temple, sitting on a bend in the Nile between EDFU and ASWAN. The left side honors Sobek, the crocodile god. The right honors Horus the Elder, the falcon god. Everything is duplicated. 2 entrances, 2 courts, 2 sanctuaries. Built around 180 BC, the temple served both gods equally. Mummified crocodiles are displayed in a museum found buried near the temple. Hundreds of crocodiles once lived in the Nile here, basking on the riverbank. The walls show surgical instruments, scalpels, dental tools, and bone saws, evidence that ancient Egyptians performed complex surgeries. A nilometer measured flood levels, crucial for predicting harvests. The temple's location on the river made it a stopping point for boats. At night, the temple is lit dramatically. Have you ever seen a temple dedicated to a crocodile god? It's Egypt's Venice, built from nothing on the Red Sea coast. This is GOUNA, a planned resort town created in the 1990s from desert and lagoons. Canals wind through the town, connecting islands where hotels and villas sit. Boats replace some cars, bridges arch over turquoise water. It's artificial, yes, but beautiful in its artificiality. The Red Sea here is warm and clear, coral reefs just offshore bursting with tropical fish. Diving and snorkeling are world-class. Kite surfing is popular, steady winds creating perfect conditions. GOUNA feels separate from Egypt, a bubble of luxury. The marina hosts yachts from around the world. Golf courses stay green despite surrounding desert. GOUNA isn't ancient Egypt, it doesn't try to be. But after days of temples and tombs, sometimes you want air conditioning and a pool. GOUNA offers that, plus stunning sunsets over the Red Sea. Is it authentic? Number? Is it beautiful? Absolutely. Before we continue exploring Egypt's hidden wonders, if you're discovering a side of Egypt beyond pyramids and mummies, make sure you're subscribed to Life in Geo. We're revealing the world's most breathtaking places, showing you destinations that redefine what you thought you knew. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an adventure. Drop a comment telling us which Egyptian site has surprised you most so far. Now, let's continue our journey through ancient wonders and modern marvels. It's where pyramid building began. This is SAQQARA, a vast necropolis south of Cairo containing the step pyramid of Djoser, built around 2650 BC, Egypt's oldest stone monument. The pyramid has 6 steps, rising 62 meters, a revolutionary design that led to the smooth-sided pyramids at Giza. Djoser's architect, Imhotep, was deified after death for his genius. The complex includes temples, courts, and walls covered in hieroglyphs. Nearby, nobles' tombs contain some of Egypt's finest reliefs, hunting scenes, farming, daily life painted in vivid detail. The Serapeum, underground galleries, held mummified Apis bulls in massive stone sarcophagi, weighing up to 80 tons. How they moved them underground remains mysterious. Archaeologists still excavate Saqqara, finding new tombs yearly. In 2020, over 100 sealed coffins were discovered, untouched for 2,500 years. Walking through feels like witnessing pyramid evolution. Can you imagine being the first to design a pyramid? It's the world's greatest open-air museum, Ancient Thebes. This is LUXOR, where temples outnumber hotels. Karnak Temple Complex covers 100 hectares, built over 2,000 years by successive pharaohs. The Great Hypostyle Hall features 134 columns, some 21 meters tall, their capitals carved as papyrus flowers. Walking among them feels like being in a stone forest. LUXOR Temple, connected to Karnak by a 3-kilometer sphinx-lined avenue, glows golden under night lighting. The temple was buried under sand and buildings for centuries. A mosque still sits atop it. Across the river, the West Bank holds the Valley of the Kings, Valley of the Queens, and countless mortuary temples. LUXOR is hot, often exceeding 40 degrees Celsius in summer. But the Nile brings relief. Feluccas sail past at sunset, their white sails turning orange. Hot air balloons float over temples at dawn. LUXOR isn't a city with monuments. It's a monument with a city. Which temple would you explore first? Karnak or LUXOR? It's Egypt's original Red Sea resort. And it's built for one thing, diving, This is HURGHADA, where desert meets some of the world's best coral reefs. The city grew from fishing village to tourist hub in decades. The appeal is underwater. Gifton Islands, a short boat ride away, offer pristine reefs with parrotfish, Napoleon fish, and reef sharks. The Thistlegorm, a British WO cargo ship sunk by German bombers in 1941, is one of the world's best wreck dives. Its holds still contain motorcycles, trucks, and ammunition. Dolphin House Sha'ab Samadai is a reef where spinner dolphins rest during the day. Snorkeling here means swimming alongside them. Above water, HURGHADA is less impressive. Concrete hotels, busy streets, tourist shops. But below, paradise. The Red Sea is warm, clear, and alive with marine life. HURGHADA isn't charming. It's functional. But when your focus is underwater, charm matters less. Would you explore a sunken World War II ship or swim with wild dolphins? It's the temple that moved. This is PHILAE Temple, dedicated to Isis, goddess of magic and motherhood. Originally on PHILAE Island, the temple was partially submerged after the first ASWAN dam. In the 1960s, when the high dam was built, the temple would have been completely underwater. So UNESCO moved it, block by block, to nearby Agilkia Island. The temple dates to around 280 BC. PHILAE was sacred to Isis, attracting pilgrims from across the ancient world. The temple is beautiful, columns carved with floral capitals, walls showing Isis resurrecting Osiris, courtyards opening to the Nile. At night, a sound and light show projects images onto the temple. The location on an island makes it special, accessible only by boat. PHILAE was one of the last temples where ancient religion was practiced. Continuing until 550 AD, centuries after Christianity became Egypt's official religion. The temple's survival makes it more than stones. It's proof that humanity values beauty enough to save it. Would you move a temple stone by stone to preserve it? It's dedicated to the goddess of love, and it shows. This is the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, one of Egypt's best preserved temples. Built around 54 BC, the temple celebrates Hathor, goddess of love, beauty, music, and joy. The ceiling is covered in astronomical scenes, constellations, zodiacs, and the goddess Nut swallowing the sun each evening and birthing it each morning. The colors survive beautifully, blues, reds, and golds that seem impossibly fresh. The hypostyle hall's columns have capitals carved as Hathor's face with cow ears, her sacred animal. On the roof, shrines show the resurrection of Osiris. A relief shows Cleopatra and her son Caesarion making offerings. Underground crypts stored temple treasures. At dawn, sunlight enters the temple, illuminating certain chambers during specific festivals. Dendera is north of Luxor, less visited but equally magnificent. The temple's preservation and vibrant colors make it feel recent, not 2,000 years old. Have you ever seen ancient paint that still glows? It's chaos and charm combined. This is CAIRO, a city of 20 million where minarets pierce smog-filled skies. The Egyptian Museum holds Tutankhamun's gold mask and treasures from 5,000 years of history. The mask weighs 10 kilograms of solid gold, inlaid with lapis lazuli. Seeing it in person is overwhelming. Khan el-Khalili, a medieval bazaar, has sold spices, perfumes, and gold since the 14th century. Narrow alleys overflow with shops, mint tea served in tiny glasses. The Mosque of Muhammad Ali sits atop the citadel, its Ottoman domes visible across the city. The Coptic Quarter preserves churches dating to early Christianity. Cairo is loud, crowded, dusty, and exhilarating. Traffic ignores rules. Calls to prayer echo from hundreds of mosques. The Nile flows through it all. The pyramids sit at the city's edge, ancient stones surrounded by urban sprawl. Cairo isn't easy to love, but it's impossible to forget. Can you handle Cairo's beautiful chaos? They're twin statues guarding nothing. The temple is gone. This is the Colossi of Memnon, two massive stone statues of Amenhotep III, each 18 meters tall and weighing 720 tons. They once guarded the entrance to Amenhotep's mortuary temple, which has vanished, destroyed by earthquakes and stone robbers. The statues remain, sitting in a field on Luxor's west bank. They're made from quartzite sandstone quarried 675 kilometers away. How they moved stones this massive remains debated. In 27 BC, an earthquake damaged one statue, causing it to sing at dawn, a phenomenon Greeks attributed to Memnon, a hero of the Trojan War. Romans repaired the statue in 199 AD, and the singing stopped. Thousands of ancient tourists carved their names on the statue's legs, ancient graffiti still visible. The Colossi are impressive but sad, guardians of a temple erased by time. Would you recognize greatness from fragments left behind? It's where pyramid perfection was almost achieved. This is DAHSHUR, a royal necropolis south of SAQQARA containing two of Egypt's oldest pyramids. The Bent Pyramid, built for Sneferu around 2600 BC, starts at one angle, then changes halfway up, creating a bent appearance. Engineers realized the initial angle was too steep and would collapse, so they adjusted mid-construction. The result is unique, Egypt's only bent pyramid. Nearby, the Red Pyramid, also Sneferu's, is Egypt's first successful smooth-sided pyramid. Its name comes from the reddish limestone that glows at sunset. You can enter the Red Pyramid, descending through a narrow passage to chambers deep inside. The air is stale, the ceiling low, but reaching the burial chamber feels like discovery. DAHSHUR is quieter than Giza, fewer tourists, more space to think. The pyramids here show evolution. Sneferu built 3 pyramids trying to perfect the design. His son, Khufu, learned from these attempts and built the Great Pyramid. Would you enter a 4,600-year-old pyramid? It's carved from a mountain, and it moved. This is Abu Simbel, Ramses II's most impressive monument, featuring 4 20-meter-tall statues of the pharaoh sitting at the entrance. Built around 1264 BC, the temple was carved into a sandstone cliff. Inside, halls lead to a sanctuary where statues of Ramses and 3 gods sit. Twice yearly, on February 22nd and October 22nd, sunlight penetrates 65 meters into the temple, illuminating the statues. When the ASWAN High Dam was built, Abu Simbel would have been submerged. So UNESCO cut the entire temple into blocks and reassembled it 65 meters higher. The project took 4 years and cost $40 million in 1960s money. The temple's grandeur was Ramses' statement of power, built to intimidate Nubians to the south. Abu Simbel is remote near Sudan's border, requiring a flight or 3-hour drive from Aswan. But seeing those colossal faces is unforgettable. Have you ever seen a mountain carved into a temple? It's luxury on the Red Sea, built for tourism. This is Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt's premier resort destination on the Sinai Peninsula's southern tip. The city offers little history, but much beauty underwater. Ras Mohammed National Park, where the Red Sea meets the Gulf of Aqaba, features some of the world's most spectacular coral reefs. Shark Reef and Yolanda Reef drop into deep blue, walls covered in soft corals in impossible colors. Purple, orange, yellow. Sharks, rays, and schools of barracuda patrol these waters. Nama Bay, the main tourist area, offers hotels, restaurants, and nightlife. The desert mountains behind the city are barren and beautiful. St. Catherine's Monastery, a 3-hour drive inland, sits at Mount Sinai's base, the world's oldest continuously operating Christian monastery. Monks still live there. Sharm el-Sheikh itself is artificial, built from nothing. But the diving is real, world-class. Would you climb Mount Sinai at sunrise or dive Ras Mohammed at noon? It's one of Egypt's most sacred sites and least visited. This is ABYDOS, the cult center of Osiris, god of the afterlife. Pharaohs built temples here for millennia, seeking association with Osiris and eternal life. The Temple of Seti I, built around 1290 BC, is ABYDOS' crown jewel. The temple contains 7 sanctuaries, each dedicated to a different god. The reliefs here are among Egypt's finest, delicate, detailed, showing gods embracing pharaohs. The colors remain vivid, blues, greens, golds. Behind the temple, the Osirian is a mysterious structure built of massive stones, half submerged in groundwater. Its purpose is debated, possibly a symbolic tomb of Osiris. The ABYDOS king list, carved on a temple wall, names 76 pharaohs from Menes to Seti I, an ancient history written in stone. ABYDOS is 3 hours from LUXOR, remote enough that few tourists visit. But the emptiness adds to its power. Walking through Seti's temple alone feels sacred. Can you feel the weight of 3,000 years of prayers? From hidden oases to temples carved into mountains, from pyramids that defy time to reefs glowing with life. Egypt isn't just ancient history, it's proof that humans can create the impossible. Where pharaohs built monuments meant to last forever, and they did. Where gods were carved in stone so massive you can't imagine how, Egypt challenges you. The heat tests you. The history overwhelms you. If this journey revealed an Egypt beyond textbooks, subscribe to Life in Geo right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Comment below. Which Egyptian destination will you visit first? And remember, the greatest monuments aren't accidents, they're ambition made stone. Proof that when humans decide to build something lasting, we can. Discover the world, explore the extraordinary. See you in the next adventure.